Good evening, everyone. New video tonight. A local mom facing murder charges. Police say she put two of her sons in the bathtub and then drowned them. There she is. Her 3-year-old boy died, and tonight a 6-year-old is fighting to survive. A story that's left an entire community just wondering why.
Channel 11's Pamela Osborne has been talking to investigators and those that know the family, and she is live now outside Children's Hospital where that 6-year-old is being treated. Pamela.
Lisa, that 6-year-old boy is in critical condition. Tonight we got our hands on a copy of the criminal complaint. The details in there, tough to hear. We learned that that mother actually got in the tub with her children as she held them underwater.
We've known the whole family, and they immediately befriended us, very welcoming, and that's just the kind of people they always are.
By all appearances, they were a happy family, but the Schlimmers, seen smiling here in this family photo, are forever changed. Police say at the hands of this woman, 40-year-old Laurel Michelle. Jenny Leonard recalls seeing her moments before it happened.
She seemed, fine. She seemed like herself.
But when police arrived at their McCandless home, they found her two youngest children, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, unresponsive on a bathroom floor. Her 3-year-old son did not survive. Neighbors were shocked.
I was hoping there'd be some good out of this, and it was just an accident.
Hours later, Schlimmer emerged from County Police headquarters in handcuffs, charged with murder and attempted murder of her boys. Did you hurt your children? She didn't speak to us as she was led to jail, but the criminal complaint details the tragedy that occurred on a second-floor bathroom. After seeing her 7-year-old son off to school, Schlimmer told police she went inside, filled up the bathtub, and ordered her kids in. Schlimmer then got into the tub fully clothed. She said crazy voices were telling her to hold the boys underwater. At one point, she even sat on top of them, telling police she felt as though she could be a better mother to her oldest son if her two youngest boys were in heaven.
And we're also learning tonight that there have been other incidents involving this mother and her children. My sources are confirming to me that just a year ago, she actually ran over one of her children with her vehicle. We've also learned that at some point she was charged with leaving one of her children unattended inside of a car. Reporting live at Children's Hospital, I'm Pamela Osborne, Channel 11 News.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are learning more about the local mother who admitted to an unthinkable crime. Police say she admitted crazy voices told her to drown her 2 young sons in the bathtub. And tonight we're learning there have been signs of trouble in the past. David?
Yes, indeed, Peggy. We're also learning how the boy's father is coping with one son who died, another fighting for his life in the hospital. Just a tragedy, obviously, in just so many ways. And Channel 11's Vince Sims talked with the family's pastor who's helping them through this just unbelievably terrible time. Vince?
Yes, David spoke with him and gathered some new information just over an hour ago. Northern Regional Police have confirmed they have an investigation into Laurel Schlimmer from just about a year ago, where she told police she accidentally ran over 2 of her little boys at her parents' house. Regional Police confirmed to us through email that they are now turning over their investigation to the DA's office to be included in this investigation that now has her inside the Allegheny County Jail. Now today we're learning more about the father. I had a chance to sit down with the pastor of this family, and he was there at the police department with the father during this investigation. Back at the house on Saratoga Street in McCandless, a memorial grows outside for this family tragedy. Laurel Michelle Schlimmer is accused of holding 2 of her 3 sons down in a tub of water. The youngest died. The other is still in Children's Hospital. All of this happened while their father was at work Tuesday morning.
Realities haven't entirely dawned upon him as yet, and the time for deep grieving, it's going to come, but probably not quite this soon.
Dan Henley is the senior pastor of North Park Church, where the Schlimmers are members. Pastor Henley was with the father at the police station.
He was very anxious yesterday, wishing that he could be with her, just to hug her and just to tell her that he loves her and to see how she was doing. So I know he's deeply concerned about Michelle and her well-being, and would like to be able to minister personally to her.
Pastor Henley says he's supporting his wife, even though in court documents police say she admitted to sitting on top of the boys while they were under the water in the tub, and that crazy voices told her to do it. Pastor Henley tells me their whole church family will be praying and supporting the Schlimmers.
The primary thing is you get your body there and you express concern and touch, and then of course you listen. And that's mostly what I did yesterday with Mark, is just listened as he processed his own thoughts and his own emotions.
Now, right now, the mother is here in the jail, and she's facing a list of charges that include criminal homicide, endangering the welfare of children, and tampering with evidence. David?
Well, Vince, so what about the oldest child who was at school at the time this happened? How's he doing tonight?
Well, yes, obviously this is going to be affecting him as well with what has happened to his two siblings. Now, I did have a chance to talk with the pastor who was there with the boy as well. Coming up, I'll be back at 6 o'clock with more details on how the pastor is asking his whole congregation to cope with this very tragic situation.
It is mystifying to a lot of folks, the things that surround this kind of occurrence.
Well, tonight, now 24 hours after hearing that this mother is facing charges in a 3-year-old's death, the entire community is just trying to understand why. Police say Laurel Michelle Schlimmer admitted to drowning her 3-year-old son and trying to drown her 6-year-old after putting a third son on the school bus yesterday morning.
Today, we wanted to know how the 2 surviving children and the woman's husband are doing. Channel 11's Vince Sims went to their pastor to find out how they are possibly trying to get through this horrible tragedy. Vince.
Well, yes, when we're talking about this, you have to remember one child is in the hospital. We haven't gotten any condition updates. Last update, he was in critical condition. But remember, the mother allegedly told police that she tried to injure those 2 kids so she could better take care of the older one that she put on that school bus. That child is also dealing with this. So I did sit down with the family's pastor today, and he explained how he's trying to help everyone cope with this tragic situation.
I was with him the first hour or so that after he got the news from his father.
North Park Church senior pastor Dan Henley is providing what he can for the Schlimmer family. Laurel Michelle Schlimmer, her husband, and 3 kids attend their church. She was arrested yesterday, accused of drowning her 3-year-old son and critically injuring her 6-year-old. Their third child was at school and not hurt.
We're going to send out a memo to the parents with some talking points about how to process this with their children, because kids are different, one from the other. The parents understand those differences, are in a better place than we are to try to talk to their children about what's happened here.
Pastor Hindley was also there in support of the father at the police station as he learned about what happened.
He was very anxious yesterday, wishing that he could be with her, just to hug her and just to tell her that he loves her and to see how she was doing. So I know he's deeply concerned about Michelle and her well-being, and would like to be able to minister personally to her.
The pastor says during this difficult time, their whole church family and community will do all they can for this grieving family.
We're doing everything we can to assist them at this time, and we invite those in the community to join with us in praying for this family, that there would be some restoration and redemption flowing out of an obviously tragic situation.
Obviously a tragic situation, and one that's not going to be overcome very easily, emotional for everyone involved. Reporting live, I'm Vince Sims, Channel 11 News.
And we have a lot of the same questions that a lot of you have, and that's why we are going to continue to track this story as it unfolds over the coming days and weeks, and you can count on us to bring you each and every development.